I was and I was and it was hot. And it was when I was 18, and I did it, and I paid my bills, and I'm not really ashamed of it. And I think everyone else likes it too, because they still talk about it.
Evan was the producer who only seemed to work on teeny bopper projects, who discovered Rihanna at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel on the island where she comes from, with no parental supervision. And then she was put on a private plane from one country to another without parental supervision.
Crooning in the background, singing for the angels over lyrics that you wrote for a young woman that you took.
Talk about the young woman that he took.
Aaliyah.
Yes, bless her soul, bless her heart, rest in peace to the late great that never got a chance to even actually arrive. That was before her time, that we all respect and revere.
What if one of the most iconic voices of the early 2000s didn't fade away on her own, but was deliberately pushed out? What if the silence around her career wasn't natural, but forced by people in positions of power? This is a story of Blu Cantrell, a singer who soared to fame with unmatched talent, then vanished. And now, voices like Jaguar Wright are pulling back the curtain, pointing to Beyoncé as a key figure in Blu's downfall. To some, this might sound like conspiracy. To others, it's an open secret. But when we follow the timeline, the whispers and the patterns, what we uncover is a tale of rivalry, control, and erasure. Let's go deep into the music industry's undercurrents and uncover what really happened to Blu Cantrell. Before the headlines, before the whispers, there was just a young woman with a powerful voice and a dream. Blu Cantrell was not a product of marketing or a label's invention. She built her career through grit, talent, and persistence.
I think I always wanted to be a performer since I was very young. It was something that I knew I wanted to do. It was the only thing I ever did, actually. So I felt like, that's what I really wanted my goal to be. And fortunately, I'm here to be able to say I'm doing it, so I feel very blessed. My mom wouldn't let me do it until I was 18. And I left home probably around 17 and went to New York City to try to pursue it. I had a lot of odd jobs. I did voiceovers, I did backgrounds, I sang at jazz clubs. I did background for P. Diddy, Bad Boy. I did a lot of things, to try to get to where I wanted to be. I'd been in studios several times before. I'd been robbed and ripped off. I think I was a demo singer, and they used to usually pay you standard $500 a session. And it was so funny because when I got my deal and had done a showcase, the same person that robbed me for like $500 for a session ended up being in the studio while I was there with the president of the label. And I said, I remember you owe me $500. It was so ironic, I just couldn't believe it. It was just like, wow. He gave me my $500 right then too. I said, you're not leaving until you do. So my sister got in a car accident and I was in the hotel and someone came up to me and said I looked like a singer. But it really was a pickup line, and I took my mom and my family and we went to the studio and I sang and they signed me, and like 2 weeks later, I had a record deal. He didn't believe I could sing the way I sang. He heard a song I did and called Till I'm Gone, that was on the first album, and he didn't believe it was me, so he said sing it live. I sang it live and he signed me,
At 17, she made the bold move to New York City. Not to chase fame for the sake of it, but because she believed she had something worth hearing. She worked her way up quietly, taking background vocal gigs from major artists like Puff Daddy and Faith Evans. This wasn't just practice, it was preparation. Every session was a step closer to the front of the stage.
I was and it was hot, and it was when I was 18, and I did it, and I paid my bills, and I'm not really ashamed of it. And I think everyone else likes it too, because they still talk about it. So it can't be that bad. Well, I think people should take my music seriously. I think that I am an artist and that I'm a vocalist, and I don't think that I'm trying to capitalize off of pictures. And that's not what I want to be known as the star, because I'm not. I'm a singer, I'm a vocalist, I'm a musician. I'm the kind of person, like, if it doesn't work the second time, I'll try again, and I'm very determined to, get the goal that I want. And if it takes me 4 and 5 times to do it, I'll do it if I have the opportunity to do it again. But fortunately, this album went platinum off of Breathe. I think I was more prepared for the second album and what was to come, because I think the first album was practice for the second album and a lot of hard work. I didn't really work with a lot of people. This is my second album, and I didn't really work with anyone on the first album. This album, I just wanted to bring in some friends, I was a fan of Sean Paul's Give Me the Light, and I said, let's get this guy on the album before he really blows up and everyone else is gonna want him on their song. And we got him first, and he just like I said, he's just major. Amazing recording artist. Shep Crawford is a writer, and he's an amazing writer. He's done stuff for, I think, Whitney, Tamia, a lot of Deborah Cox. He's a great writer for ballads and producer for ballads. Well, we sit, we talk, he gets to know me, what I'm feeling or where I want to go with it, and then he goes and he just says, leave the room. And I come back, and it's an amazing song, and I sing it. I definitely think with everybody that I've worked with, they know me on a personal level, and that's how they, write music for me. I don't want you to write a song for me that I can't relate to. Breathe is basically when, you're in a relationship with someone, and there's a lot of tension because you're around each other so much, and you're fighting and you're nitpicking, and definitely can relate to that.
She joined the girl group 8th Avenue, which was developed by the legendary Teddy Riley. While the group didn't explode onto the scene, it positioned Blu closer to the center of the R&B world. But her true breakthrough came when producer Tricky Stewart heard her sing. That moment wasn't luck, it was earned. She landed a deal with Arista Records, and from there, her debut album, Soul Blue, introduced her to the world. Her first single, Hit 'Em Up Style, Oops, was an anthem. It climbed the charts, played nonstop on the radio, and made her a household name. Blu had a signature sound, confident, clear, and soulful. She was different. She had an edge. She had timing, and very quickly, she had the industry's attention. Grammy nominations soon followed. Interviews, performances, magazine covers. Everything pointed toward a long, successful career. But just as she was getting started, things took a strange turn. While Blu was establishing herself, another star was on the rise. Beyoncé Knowles, still with Destiny's Child, was beginning her transition into solo superstardom. At first, there was no visible issue. The two women operated in different lanes. But behind the scenes, tensions were reportedly building.
Beyoncé knows very well what he did.
She knows everything. They're not spouses. They're accomplices. He's her boss, and that's his number one bottom hoe. And that's just that.
You heard the story about Kathy White, right?
Of course.
No, I know you did. Because I've heard you speak on it. But Kathy White, Pimp C, what happened to him? The same thing goes on and on.
He died on Mr. Carter's birthday.
And Beyonce just did the halftime performance, and the license plate on that Cadillac was
Pimp C.
Thank you.
Sacrifice. Trophies.
Jay-Z and Beyonce have a lot of bodies under their belt. She knows very well who he is. She's not... Now, this is making her public image look bad, so yeah, she is pretty mad about the public perception of her and Jay-Z, but this is not news to her. She knows very well who she married, or allegedly married.
Distract the world by accentuating a 12-year-old girl's bosoms in a dress fit for an adult, not a child.
According to Blu Cantrell, the trouble began when her personal life intersected with the inner circle of Beyoncé and Jay-Z. She claimed to have a romantic interest in Jay-Z. Whether this was mutual or not is unclear, but Blu suggested that this caused friction with Beyoncé.
It's almost a cliche, the celebrity couple, they get together, they break up, I'm like, well, who else are they gonna go out with? But for some reason, you took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, and you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and you not And if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
That's beautiful.
Like real people.
Yeah. What advice would you have for men who have caused pain in marriages? I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody like you.
The best apology is change behavior, right? But change behavior, one. And then also you have to, you know, you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to let that person have their say. You have to get on the floor, get on the mattress, and you have to really work through it and really be honest. And no matter how many times, it takes a while. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's difficult to hear. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to, you know, to listen to that sort of pain. And you just have to be strong enough. You have to be strong enough to go through that, because on the other side is beautiful. You know, in our case,
that's a level of strength really on both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, you know, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way. No matter what side, I love her the same way. I pray that I will, because her strength and her, you know, man, is the strongest woman I know. Like her and my mother, they battling for number one.
Beautiful. You know, I just want to say to you, you are blazing a trail, you know, for a lot of us to follow. You know, financially, culturally, you know, the idea of confession could save so much pain and suffering in politics and every place else. I honor you. You know, one of the guys said, you know, just make sure to ask him before he leaves, you know, is he in the Illuminati? And I said, no, I'm not gonna ask that, but are you?
I'm in the new Illuminati.
He first started dating Beyoncé at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. When I look back and see how old Jay-Z was, I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67, something like that, 67 right there? 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyoncé, they said she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's, and Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child, that's how you protect the child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-something years old, and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age, because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6-7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know.
That's a Blu Cantrell, but yeah, no, he was dating Blue, but he had another woman that was pregnant that was about to come out with her pregnancy around the same time. Was she from the
islands?
Something like that. And that's where he met Rihanna. Robin Fenty is in Barbados. So I know he spends a lot of time out there. And what I do know, and I don't even have to say allegedly, is that he has a trap house in Dallas, Texas, that him and Diddy are funding, and they have male and female working in there, and I'll say it into the camera, and it's not allegedly. Y'all need to go see about Dallas, and they got Yellow Beezy running it. That's on me, baby.
Oh,
they got women and boys. I say women, teenage girls and boys, and they're having with the girls.
What started as a personal issue quickly took on a professional edge. Blu publicly accused Beyoncé of mimicking her sound, style, and image. She gave a pointed warning, stating that she would not tolerate being played with. It was a bold move, especially given the industry power Beyoncé was beginning to wield. But shortly after that moment, Blu's career momentum slowed. Her label stopped pushing her music. There was no formal announcement, no dramatic falling out, just silence. That silence is what many find suspicious. Did Blu simply fall off, or was she pushed out? Blu Cantrell's fall wasn't just a dip in fame. According to her, it was a calculated shutdown. After her initial success, the label stopped supporting her. No marketing, no push for her next project. Worse, she discovered she had signed a contract that gave most of her earnings away, and the lawyer who should have protected her may have worked against her. She wasn't dropped from the label, but she was frozen in place. No creative freedom, no releases, just silence. All while others connected to the situation continued rising in power and visibility. Blu wasn't just sidelined, she was trapped.
You want to know something? How was your summer? What kind of stuff did you do?
Vacation.
Yeah.
Tan.
You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it just occurs to me that the last time you were here, and I don't think you discussed it, and then 4 days later we find out you got married.
That happened?
Yeah. What do you mean that happened?
I was here
and 4 days later you're married to Beyoncé. Nice going.
You had some developments in your life as well, Dave.
That's right. That's right. I don't
like the
yeah.
Pot calling the kettle sneaky.
And I would never call the kettle sneaky. Yeah, but I got married myself. I didn't marry myself, but I did get married. And but it's not like with you and Beyonce. Now that's like a deal. You know, that's kind of like a headline. You know what I'm saying?
You were in the paper.
Yeah, you were in the paper.
You were in the paper.
I was in the paper as well. Yeah.
I don't know if you know.
So tell me, let's compare marital experiences. How's it going?
Life is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Very great. And you?
Excellent. Excellent. It's
man, these guys.
You know, as good as it is for you, for me, it's 3 times better.
Eventually, the emotional toll became too much. She moved to London, not to pursue music, but simply to get away. Years passed with no appearances. Then in 2012, she resurfaced, speaking about betrayal, feeling watched and fearing for her life. Soon after, she made headlines in Santa Monica when she was found wandering, disoriented, and taken in for evaluation. Some believe it was a result of deep trauma. Others think it reflected real fear and industry suppression. Either way, Blu's story remains a powerful reminder. For every artist who climbs the charts, there are many whose voices are quietly pushed out of frame. As we talk about Blu Cantrell and industry sabotage, it's hard to ignore Jay-Z's history with certain rising female artists.